Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. I had to get my book. Okay. Hey Lisa, I decided to come on a little bit early because I want to be honest with you guys. It's Friday, and I'm trying to chill. So, okay. So yesterday when I left off, we were doing we were reading about. Hey Emily, it's Friday. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. It's Friday. I'm so freaking happy that this week is over with and I can start over fresh next week. Hey, Avalon. You guys, I'm ready. I'm ready to start a new week. Guess what? Next week, my man is on vacation. So we are going to go to, there's like this state park a couple hours away. And we're going to go to the state park. And we're going to go to the state park and we're going to like get a cabin and we are going to have the fire in it. Who knows? I might have another pregnancy scare because it's going to be romantic. But we're going to stay in that little cabin with the fire. And you guys know that me and Neil are legally married now. So I have to go change my last name next week. And because I just haven't done it, you know? So yeah, we're going to get my name changed. And it's just going to be, you guys, I'm a married woman now. Like, I'm so just, Neil and I have been together for almost 8 years, like 7.5 years. And so it's just a big deal to me. I got my hair cut today too. I don't know if you guys can tell. Thank you, Emily. And I also scheduled a balayage for next week, which is like $200, you guys. Yep, that's what I did, Avalon. We went to the courthouse, got the license, and then, y'all want me to tell you how romantic it was? It wasn't romantic at all. We went to this man's house who had a Justice of the Peace license, and we went into his apartment, and you guys, I'm telling you, it smelled like cigarette smoke, and I don't smoke anymore. No offense if you smoke, but it was like, it would smell like cigarette smoke. And I was like, you know, but he did the ceremony. He was like, by the power vested in me by the state of Arkansas. And I was crying and Neil was crying. You could tell that he was like, and I was like, are you sure you want to marry me? And he was like, Nicole, what do you mean? Like, of course I want to marry you. I love you. So we did that last Monday. We got the little, you know, did the little ceremony. So, yeah, it's official. So I'm officially Nicole Pludre. I'm not Nicole DeMeo anymore. I'm Nicole Pludre. So I just got to go get my driver's license and all that stuff changed. So yeah, it was cool. Anyway, and I got my hair cut a little bit, you guys. I wanted to show you guys. I know this might be wrong, I always called myself Nicole Pludre, you guys, because I knew that me and Neil were going to get married. I just didn't know when. So, I've always kind of just said I was married. Hey, weren't you talking about getting your hair done this weekend too, Avalon? I swear you said that, yeah. So, I was talking to Shauna on the phone, and she had said she went to go get her hair done, right? And then I remembered that my mother-in-law had gotten me a $50 certificate to the salon right down the street. Really nice place. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to use it. And my haircut was exactly $50, you guys. And it's like, you know, just layered. I know. I don't like paying for it either, Emily, but I'm going to tell you in my experience, I have went to like Walmart and got my hair cut and they literally butchered my hair. Then I've went to like nice places like this and got my hair cut and it come out nice. You know what I mean? So one time I went to Walmart to get my hair cut and I'm going to tell you guys $50 for a haircut. Yep. I went to get my hair cut at Walmart and they only charge you $15. But I'm going to tell you, one side was up here and the other side was down here. So I always go and I at least pay $50 to get my hair cut because I'm telling you guys, every other time it has literally gotten butchered and I have a lot of hair and I want it to be nice. You know, I want it to look good. So, yeah, hey Zeke, happy Friday. So I wanted to talk about sex with you guys. So exactly. And Michelle, that has always been my experience. Last time I went to Walmart and got my hair cut, I'm telling you guys, the guy was tweaking. No lie. He was tweaking balls and he cut my hair and it was literally two different lengths. So, okay. So yesterday, you guys, we were talking about our 4-step and we were reading out of the book and I was talking to you guys about how when I went through my 4-step with my sponsor, kind of what it was like, how we did it with the columns, you know, and because here where I live, a lot of sponsors don't do the columns. A lot of sponsors will have you do a case history, which is like basically like a story of your life. And it's just like you writing your whole life story. And then the sponsor will go through it with you and help you underline and circle your resentments, the causes, and what it affected, what instincts it affected. Did you not just eat chicken nuggets, son? I mean, I don't know what else you want me to do. Do you want an apple?
No.
Want an orange? And so we know that there's... Okay, we know that there is your security, which is security instinct, sexual instinct, and social instinct, okay? It says, yeah, here it is. Self-esteem, security, personal, yeah. Sex relations, self-esteem, security, pride, personal sex. Okay, yeah. So, and it has, you know, they tell you to do the columns. Well, whenever, that's the way I did it this last time with my sponsor, is we did the columns, right? And just like it says in the book, is exactly how we did it. And she printed out a worksheet with the columns, and all I had to do was fill it in, right? Yeah, that's all I had to do was fill it in. But I don't know why. I don't know if it's a way that a certain group here in Arkansas does it. But I had a sponsor from Cocaine Anonymous, you guys, who had me write like a case history. And that was so hard. And it was so daunting because it literally took me a month to write my whole case history. And like I told you guys, it was a whole legal pad, the yellow paper, front and back on every page. Because I started out when I was born, you know. So, now we're on to sex. So here we go. I'm going to read what it says in here about sex. Now about sex. Many of us needed an overhauling there. But above all, we tried to be sensible on this question. It's so easy to get way off track. Here we find human opinions running to extremes. Absurd extremes, perhaps. One set of voices cry that sex is a lust of our lower nature, a base necessity of procreation. Then we have the voices who cry for sex and more sex, who bewail the institution of marriage, who think that most of the troubles of the race are traceable to sex causes. That was me. I was like, sex, sex, and more sex. And I think a lot of us were like that were on stimulants, okay? I know that when I used methamphetamine, you guys, I would, like, it would make me want to have sex. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people who use stimulants felt that same way. So when I was in active addiction, what I would do was I would, be promiscuous, right? And promiscuous, and I would also do all kinds of things, right? Like I would have threesomes, I would have orgies, I would like hook up with this guy on one day and then hook up with some other guy on the next day. And then I know other people who are like straight laced, right? Just like, oh my gosh, if you have sex before you get married, you're going to hell, and all those kind of things. You know what I mean? So right here, let's read the rest of it. They think we do not have enough of it, or that it isn't the right kind. They see its significance everywhere. One school would allow man no flavor for his fare, and the other would have us all on a straight pepper diet. We want to stay out of this controversy. We do not want to be the arbiter of anyone's sex conduct. We all have sex problems. We'd hardly be human if we didn't. What can we do about them? We reviewed our own conduct over the years past. Where had we been selfish, dishonest, or inconsiderate? Whom had we hurt? Did we unjustifiably arouse jealousy, suspicion, or bitterness? These are the questions that we're going to ask ourselves in regards to our sexual behavior, okay? Where were we at fault? What should we have done instead? We got this all down on paper and looked at it. So I had a lot, and you guys, I'm being so transparent with you guys right now. Like I'm talking about like my sex inventory basically with you guys, and I'm being honest. I had to write down like times that I've cheated on my boyfriends. I've had to write down like relationships I had that were like behind a married woman's back with her husband, or behind a married man's back with his wife. And because when I was in active addiction, I swang both ways. You know what I'm saying? And so there was a lot of things that I did that the way I was raised up, like my moral compass didn't like line up with it. Like I knew the things that I was doing weren't what I agreed with to be right. I don't think there's anything wrong with, if you love women and you're a woman, have at it. My sister's a lesbian and I love her so much. She's my best friend. If you're a man and you love men, that's your prerogative. I love you just the same. I love my husband and I am dedicated to my husband. And that's how, but when I was in active addiction, I had so many things that I had done in active addiction that I wasn't proud of. You know what I mean? That I needed to put down and get up out of me. Okay. I needed to get that stuff off me and share it with someone else. And when I shared with my sponsor, because my sponsor was 65 years old, when I shared with my sponsor about some of the crazy things that we did, when we were in active addiction sexually, I was really scared that she was going to judge me, and she didn't at all, you guys. It was so freaking cool. In this way, we tried to shape a sane and sound idea for our future sex life. We subjected each relation to this test. Was it selfish or not? We asked God to mold our ideas and help us to live up to them. We remembered always that our sex powers were God-given and therefore good, neither to be used lightly or selfishly, nor to be despised and loathed. I was raised up in like a really religious household. My mom was Pentecostal and we couldn't cut our hair. We couldn't wear makeup. We had to wear dresses. We had to keep our skin covered from our elbows down and from our knees down. And we couldn't pierce our ears, nothing, you guys. So I was raised up to like almost think that sex was like a sin. But it's not. Like we were put on this earth to be in relationships with each other, We weren't created, you guys, to be like alone. I spotted elephant. I just read your comment. Yeah, and listen, I'm going to tell you guys a story time. So I'm not going to say the guy's name because I'm just not. But I used to hang out with this guy, right? And we did meth together all the time, right? And it was just like so. It was like all the time pressure. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to get high on his drugs. I did not want to go right into the deed, right? But it was like he was literally waiting for it every time, you know? And once me and Neil got together, we would use substances as a way to like boost our sex life. You know what I mean? And so now that now that we're sober, you know, I got really scared when me and Neil got sober that he wasn't going to love me anymore, you guys, because I'm not like a freak like I was when I was in active addiction. You know, I mean, I can be if I want to be, but it's different now. You know, it's different. Like I love my husband. I want to honor him and respect him, and I want to be respectful, and I want to, you know, make him happy in a way because I want him to know that I love him. And of course, I want to please him sexually. You know what I mean? But when I got sober, I was so afraid that he wasn't going to love me anymore. Because, you know, so much stuff has changed. My weight has changed. The way I look at things has changed. The way I act has changed. Like, I'm such a different person now. And I think for us ladies, when we get sober, especially for our relationships, it's really, really hard, you guys, because the only thing I could think of was Neil was going to get sober and he wasn't going to love me anymore. You know, whatever our ideas turn out to be, we must be willing to grow toward it. We must be willing to make amends where we have done harm, provided that we do not bring about still more harm in so doing. In other words, we treat sex as we would any other problem. In meditation, we ask God what we should do about each specific matter. The right answer will come if we want it. God alone can judge our sex situation. Counsel with persons is often desirable, but we let God be the final judge. We realize that some people are as fanatical about sex as others are loose. We avoid hysterical thinking or advice. Suppose we fall short of the chosen idea and stumble. Does this mean that we are going to get drunk? Some people tell us so, but this is only a half-truth. It depends on us and our motives. If we are sorry for what we have done and have the honest desire to let God take us to better things, we believe we will be forgiven and will have learned our lesson. If we are not sorry and our conduct continues to harm others, we are quite sure to drink. So, I have changed, and I'm doing the right thing today, and I'm being a good person, and I'm not treating people with disrespect, and I'm not setting out to hurt or harm others. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm setting out I want to leave a good footprint. I want to leave a positive footprint on this YouTube community. I want to leave a footprint that says, you know, Nicole was serious about her recovery. She wanted to help others. She wanted to give back, and she wanted to share with women that they don't have to be ashamed and that they can share their experience to help other people, right? I don't want to leave behind a footprint that says, you know, she was mean and horrible and talked, you know, I don't want that. I want to help other people, and so whenever me and my sponsor, her name's Jean, whenever we did the 4-step together and we went through all this and we read, then we prayed together, you guys, and we prayed and we asked God to remove my difficulties, to take away my shortcomings, to help me work through them, to help me change, to be a better person. And then we sat down and we wrote down, yes, I'll make amends. No, I won't, or maybe I will, okay? And we made 3 columns with maybe, yes, and no. And I started out on the yes column, okay? All these people. Okay, all these people I'm going to make amends to. So she had me pray over each one of those people and then reach out to them. Oh, you guys, I had to reach out to an ex-boyfriend of mine, and I was so nervous, you guys. Robert, actually, I've talked about him in my channel more. Yeah.
Can you come with me to go back on FTTV?
You don't want milk in there?
No.
Okay. I had to call and make an amends to Robert, and I was.
FTTV?
Yeah, I was so nervous, you guys. Like, I was like, he is going to answer the phone and be like, don't ever call here again. You know what I mean? But when I called him, he was like this, you guys. Nicole, it is all good. We were just kids. I forgive you. Because we were just kids when we were together. I was like 20-something, you know? I've been... Oh, Emily, I'm reading your comments. Yes, I've totally been there. Hold on, let me get Nate set up, you guys.
What?
FGTvers?
Yeah, I was playing Mario for a second.
Okay.
Mario sent us a text.
You know what, though? You know what I've learned, you guys?
Mario sent us a text.
Emily, are you working with somebody, like a sponsor? Here you go, baby. Are you, like, doing the steps with somebody? Because you know what? I'll tell you what I would always do. I would, like, beat myself up and be like, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And, having Jean, you know, to kind of, like, encourage me that I could, you know, yeah, you are ready, you know? And I almost feel like her talking with me and helping me to realize that I was ready to go through, you know, to the next step was, it was a good feeling to have, you guys. And, that's what has helped me the most, because I couldn't have done it, like, on my own, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know where to begin, right? Like, I didn't even know where to begin. But Emily, when I think all of us ladies, not all of us, but I think some of us have been through. When I would get fucked up, I would do the stupidest shit, you guys. And guys would take advantage of me because I would be passed out. You know what I'm saying? And I would be nodded out. And they would... And I used to hang out with a bunch of gangsters, okay? And I remember one night I was passed out in my friend's house on his couch. And this is when I realized, you know what? He's a good friend. And he picked me up and he took me in his room and he put me on his bed and shut the door so nobody could come in there and fuck with me while I was asleep. Because I was hanging out in trap houses, you know, where guys would see a girl laying on the floor passed out, and they would take your pants off and screw you while you were laying there. And then you'd wake up with your pants around your ankles. And that was like not uncommon, you know? And so, but it wasn't every time that I would be around a friend that would take care of me and help me to not get taken advantage of. You know what I mean? There was times where they wouldn't be there and I would get done dirty, right? So, to sum it up about sex, we earnestly pray for the right idea, for guidance in each questionable situation, for sanity and for the strength to do the right thing. If sex is very troublesome, we throw ourselves harder into helping others. So this is again, whenever I'm struggling with something and I don't know, like if I don't know what to do, my sponsor always tells me to clean house, help others, and pray and meditate. And I'm telling you, like, helping other people always gets me out of my own way. It always gets me out of that bad place that I'm in. You know what I mean? Okay. We think of their needs and work for them. This takes us out of ourselves. See? It quiets the imperious urge. When to yield would mean heartache. If we have been through about our personal inventory, we have written down a lot. We have listed and analyzed our resentments. We have begun to comprehend their futility and their fatality. We have commenced to see their terrible destructiveness. We have begun to learn tolerance, patience, and goodwill toward all men, even our enemies, for we look on them as sick people. We have listed the people we have hurt by our conduct and are willing to straighten out the past if we can. In this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. We hope you are convinced now that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked you off from him. If you have already made a decision and an inventory of your grosser handicaps, you have made a good beginning. That being so, you have swallowed and digested some big chunks of truth about yourself. Ding, 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 ding. All right, that's it. And then we go into action, chapter 6. So, right, yeah. Doing your inventory is a fact finding, and it's like seeing yourself in the mirror, you guys, and saying, wow, look at all these bad things I've done. I was like, for me, it was like this. It was like putting a mirror in front of myself, writing down everything I've ever done, having it stare me back in the face, right? And say, wow, you were so selfish, Nicole. All these years, all that mattered was drugs and you. I wasn't thinking about who I was hurting. I wasn't thinking about my parents, how I put them through struggles. I wasn't thinking about my friends, who I put in compromising situations. I wasn't thinking about my husband, who I was hurting and harming since the day I met him in active addiction. You know, all I was thinking about was me, right? I am grateful today that I can look at me and I can change and be better today, because I would have never even given it a second chance. I would have never even thought about trying to be different, you know, or trying to change my old behaviors, you know. But today, you guys, I want to be a better person. And, you know, I want y'all to know, like, that is my goal. I want to be better. I don't want to do bad things. I don't want to hurt other people. I don't want to, you know, like I said, I don't want to leave a bad footprint here in YouTube land. I want people to say, you know, that girl, Nicole, I have respect for her. And that's what I want from people. I want to spread a message of hope that we can recover, and that even though, you know, we have struggles and we go through it, that we're good people. Let me share something with you guys. Today I went to go get my hair cut, right? And I was sitting there getting my hair cut, and I was getting to know the girl. And I told her, she said, well, when's the last time you got your hair cut? And I told her, I said, about a year ago. And then I said, I got it dyed a year ago too, but I can't keep up with it. I just don't come in enough. And then we just got to talking about something, and I don't know how we got on it, but I was telling her about how, you know, I have been sober for about 3.5 years, and that I want to start, like, you know, doing my hair nice and stuff. Okay, Spotted Elephant, thanks for coming over. I wanted to, you know, I was telling her that I want to start, you know, keeping up with my hair and stuff. So we're going to do a balayage to where, see how I have my roots and they're all the way, like my blondes all the way down here. She said the balayage is where they paint it on, right? And it like will fade gradually, you know? Thanks, Emily. And so I feel good because I got my hair done. And then next week I'm going to get it dyed. So I was telling her, you know, that I was in recovery. And she was telling me that her boyfriend is a state trooper. And that he thinks that, you know, addicts make that choice to be drug addicts. But she was sharing with me how she had done drugs too before. And she was like, you know, I believe that it is a disease, because she said the only reason she didn't get hooked on drugs was because she would overthink it so much. And she would go, this feels too good. Oh my God, I like this too much, you know? But I was sharing with her about you guys and my channel. I was telling her about how we have a bunch of girls on my channel. We talk about our struggles, and I get to talk to you guys one-on-one a lot. And it was just cool. I was telling her all about you guys, okay? And she was telling me, she goes, I have so much respect for you that you can take what you did, which was not good, and turn it around and make it, make something good out of it. And I was like, hell yeah. I never, like, the way I look at it as it's a way for me to make up for all the bad I've done in my life is to do things good. And maybe it'll add on to my karma whenever God comes. But she was telling me about her boyfriend who's a state trooper, and he's like, has to deal with all these people that are like getting in trouble all the time, And I was telling her, it can be hard whenever you're working in, for the state like that, and you have to like, pull people over and basically you're catching them doing stuff that's against the law. It's like you see the worst. You see us when we're at our worst. You see the addict when they're like out there trying to steal and kill and destroy, But today, like all the people that I've met that they tell me stories about how they were in their active addiction, I can't even believe it, you guys, because it's like they're such different people now, And so I'm grateful to be able to have a second chance, I love doing this with you guys too. So, okay. So basically, what did we learn about sex? We learned that, all of us has different, like, okay, this is acceptable sex and this is not acceptable, right? We all have different, like, moral compasses, right? But what we got to do is we got to look at our sexual behavior that we did while we were in active addiction. And even if you think you need to look at some of the stuff you did recently, and pick out where you were being selfish, self-seeking, and, trying to hurt or harm somebody or hurt or harm yourself. And write those things down. Write down those situations with those people, and ask God to forgive you for those things. And then if you need to make an amends to somebody, maybe it's an ex-boyfriend, that you need to make an amends to. If you're comfortable going to that person, you can do that and you can make an amends and then have that off your chest, Sometimes my sponsor was telling me there's some things that you don't go and make an amends for because they can hurt you or that other person. And that's when you think it would hurt or harm them, right? Hey, Leah. Well, we're talking about sex. So... okay, and here's another thing. So y'all know how I told you guys that story about when I got raped. I didn't talk to that guy. I would never go talk to him, right? What is up? Can you see my text? Yes, Share Bear, why? Sorry to sound like... Hey, Share Bear! So... when I was in, okay, what was I? Share Bear, you got me all tripping now. What was I going to say? Let me think. Shoot, I totally lost it. Yeah, I can see your messages. When I was in active addiction, oh my gosh, sex. I wanted to, okay, yes. I was going to tell you guys about it. So the guy that raped me, right? I was like, I wasn't forgiving him, right? And it was eating my lunch. Like, I would have nightmares about this dude. I would think I saw him when I was out in town, right? And so I wrote it down on my 4-step and told my sponsor about it, right? And so I didn't have to go make amends to him. But I needed, who I had to make an amends to for that? To myself. Because I couldn't forgive myself for being in that position and putting myself in a compromising situation. And I kept blaming myself for being fucked up and being there. And if I hadn't have been fucked up, then I wouldn't have got fucked. You know what I mean? Like, and so we went through that, and that's when I realized it's me I'm resenting. It's me I'm mad at. I don't forgive myself. I'm blaming myself. And so when you do your 4-step with your sponsor, these are the things that you're going to see. You're going to see, wow, I'm blaming myself for XYZ. I've got to forgive me. Or so-and-so still renting space in my head. I need to forgive them, right? Oh, Cher, that's awesome. I wish that was my story. And so when we can forgive ourselves and forgive these other people, and they can forgive us, then we can get free, man. I'm telling you guys, I don't know about y'all, but I drank and drugged over a lot of bullshit. Like I would use situations to get high as hell off of because I would just be so upset. So instead of carrying that resentment and that anger and that insecurity and those bad feelings in my gut, I got rid of it, and now I feel free, and so that's what I want for you guys. I want you ladies to find yourselves a sponsor and start working through these steps with somebody. Now, I'm not trying to pressure you. If you don't want to, that's your decision. But if you think that you want what I have and you want to see if you can get it, try it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I really don't. And, I'm going to tell you guys the honest to God truth. Yes, I have had some shitty people that I've met through the program that were judgmental as fuck and that I don't fuck with them no more. But I have met more nice people that have helped me and walked me through the steps and kept me under their wing, right? Then I have met bad people. And so it's worth it to me. It's worth it. It was worth it for me to learn about me. I don't want to be selfish anymore. I don't want to be self-seeking. I want to be kind and loving, and I want to be respectful, and I want people to say, hey, look at that girl. She feels good about herself today. She's happy today. I want to put off a confident vibe, but a humble vibe at the same time, like humility. That's what I want for myself, So anyway, I had fun talking to you guys about sex, and yeah, I was a freak back in my day, but you know what? I've changed. I'm a better woman today. I am so dedicated to my husband, you guys. Like, I'm so proud of myself because back in the day, I couldn't keep one man. I was jumping from man to man. When I was growing up, you guys, I never thought I would get married. I didn't plan on having kids or anything. And now I'm a one-man woman, and I got me a cute little boy. What? What do you think about that guy? The guy who died in the... Well, Calvin, I've never ever heard of that story. Okay, ladies. I'm going to sign off here, though. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here and just like doing the little class with me. And tomorrow I'm going to Mom's house. So y'all will get to meet my mom. Ready? Because we'll be doing a live stream with my mamacita. Okay? I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you.